Okay, good morning. Welcome to Satsang. For those who are not aware, we use WhatsApp as a means of communication. You can send your questions, they will come directly to my hand, and I'll answer as they come. Let's make some silence. From here on. So, how is everyone? Are you intensifying your meditation? Is intensity arising? Is there life coming out of your process? Is there a process? Hmm? Are you uh, being confronted with decisions that are in need to be made so that you can qualify for the presence of guidance in whatever form? Are you beginning your real spiritual journey, not just the make-believe journey? Is fire arising? How is everything? Because uh, whatever you look about around you, if this fire is not present, it is just a mundane, a worldly stage to enact your worldly desires and all of this, even if they are spirituals in context, because if it is for the improvement of the life of the character, and this has to be researched deeply, then it is worldly. But when you intensify spiritual practice, when you intensify meditation, and life starts coming out, the process becomes alive, hmm? Then you come in front of a road, and the choices you make at that level of understanding, they will put you on the path to freedom or maintain you where you have been all along. So it's not about what you're doing, is how intense you are doing, so that life comes. And then when life comes, it has to be respected, followed, or it will go away again. If there's no one there, someone's knocking at the door, no one answers, no one there, so it leaves. So this, oh, I've been doing this for so long, I've done this and that, I went here and there, I did everything there was and all of this. This is very nice, but is the fire there? Is there guidance present? Do you feel the presence of your process? The intensity? Is this directing you and make you more to intensify and going deeper and deeper and deeper? Are you on this track? This is your feedback to what is really going on. See, this is not about just alternate state of awareness. See, because uh, a lot of seekers these days, they have this sensitivity to tune with this a little bit higher vibrations, and they can really easily tap into this and get amazed with these feelings, sensations that elevates and all of this, and they remain where they are and tuning to this, but pulling this to their own level of perception and existence. And this, in terms of freedom, eventually they will have this communion. It is good because it gives the direction that it is, you have to move higher and not at this level. But if you don't do anything with that, if you're just using that as a way to improve the character's life, to make it more sweet, then it is nothing. And eventually, it will not be the absence of the sweet, but the appearance of the bitter, which is connected to the investments that are going on, and using these subtle vibrations to make all this look nicer. So is fire there. So spiritual practices, whatever they are, uh, it is about, in the beginning, as there is no guidance, to create your own fire. But usually, you get directed to certain situations, and eventually, at your level of understanding, you will have to choose. You may hide behind, there's nothing to choose, everything is set, and all these things. But if that is not your level, your real level of understanding, it means nothing. So before you get really established, decisions have to be made, and that will be the steps for that fire to start arising. And that is what makes the difference uh, from a real process to a dormant one. And to start your own fire, uh, your dreams, expectations about the world, about the future of the character, this is the wood. These are the chunks of wood with which you feed that fire. If you're protecting those dreams, you're protecting that life, so then spiritual practice or spiritual ambition becomes just something to improve what is really important to you. Is your process alive? Are you intensifying? Is life trembling in front of your eyes with the possibilities of those structures that you most love, their disappearance? Are you being tested? Let's go to our questions. Okay, so there's something here, a comment I will, it's not really a question, it was a comment made during the last live that was from Guadalupe. Hello, if you're listening. So she says you can meditate walking. True, you can, but that is not really a way to deepen the practice of meditation. See, for those who have this sensitivity of this tunement with this finer, subtler frequencies, uh, they can move to this alternate state of consciousness quite easy, but that doesn't mean it is deepening. Serious meditators, they meditate walking also. And why is that? So that they don't let any distraction to come, but they sit for meditation. They prefer it sit because it goes much deeper. And when they have to move to take care, those who have to move, because there are those who don't have. So those who have to move to take care of bodily needs and whatever chores they have been given, if they have some, because different levels, different needs, not just levels, but needs, because these things don't have really to do about level. It's about a need according to your own illusion. So according to these things, they may move around to do whatever, but they continue their meditation, so that when they sit again, it goes much, much, much more deeper. So for these ones who are meditating long periods of time, and I'm not saying that it's only about meditating long, for a long time. It may start this way. It is important to start this way until guidance comes. Then guidance leads the way. It's never too much to emphasize this. So for those who are sitting for long periods, they use this, they continue with the same tune, with the same attention, with the same higher level of perception, and they maintain this as the body is moving, and then they use it to continue to intensify. So those who have this facility to tune with these subtler vibrations, they walk around, oh, I will make a walking meditation. Okay, fine. But that doesn't mean it is deepening. It doesn't mean it is deepening. And I've heard this a long time, this walking meditation, and usually it is those who cannot sit too long, who don't want to sit. They make these practices so that they continue their investments. So those who really can meditate walking, these ones have no interest in walking around and observing nature and being in a different state and like going to an ice cream parlor and have some ice cream and then go back to normal life. So yes, you can meditate while you walk, but this doesn't mean that it is deepening and intensifying. It is a way to keep the motor running so that when you sit, you can intensify. But this is concepts. And when do this stops being a concept? Now, you have that concept. Now I've given you another concept. Now, if you want to know the truth about your concept and this concept, you have to try this concept long enough, hard enough, intensely enough, and then you will see the difference between walking meditation and sitting still, absolutely still, motionless meditation. Do this intensely every day, at least for 2 months, and then you will see. Because without testing the concepts, they mean nothing. You're just choosing the ones that you fits better. But don't confuse this, because if you're in this, if you have this sensitivity and you can tune easily, that doesn't mean it is deepening. And for freedom, if we're talking about freedom, deepening is a must. It is a need. If you have more questions about this, send them and I will answer. How can I increase the fire? So this is Peter. How can I increase the fire, desire of longing for liberation? Is there a need to increase it? If it is there, it is there. So what happens? If it is there, some understanding must be there. And is there a need for something else? Do you need something more that pushes you and convinces you? Use your reasoning, because if it is there, it is something very It is there. So to increase it, there's no need to increase it. You just have to decrease waste. So these, everything you are entertaining besides your spiritual practice and the goal of liberation, everything else is competing with this. And in any way, in different ways, it is a quest for happiness. It is a quest for happiness, it is a quest for freedom, because they are synonymous, but not the happiness like the character sees it. So all investments, survival is an investment, because if I survive, I can be happy. So it is a quest for freedom. Everything is a quest for freedom. Security. If I'm secure, I will not suffer, maybe. Still, it is a step towards freedom. Everything is a step towards freedom. So everything is that urge. The world is in an urge to be happy. And this is an urge for freedom. So everything you're entertaining has the same thing behind. It is only this, it is only what matters, it is only what exists. Returning home, returning to truth, it is the only thing. So if you don't find this intensity there, it's because you're not using your common sense, and you're still entertaining a lot of things with the same hope. But can they give it? Do they have what they promise? So this is where common sense comes. And all these things you are entertaining, your life and your worldly activities, they are for the same purpose. But can they give it? This is the question. So as you intensify spiritual practices, it's like you're investing in different things, worldly activities, spiritual activities, for example, if you have this distinction. If you don't have, it will be there in the same. You'll just have to try to see it. They are for the same reason. For happiness, for freedom, for wholeness, for God, forever. It is the same. If you investigate it, you will see this clearly. But you only have a certain amount of time available. And according to the real importance, not for what you think is important, but for the real importance, and that gets, it involves not only the rational side, but the emotional side, the physical side, the instinct side, all these things that need to be uprooted. Then you will divide the time according to these things. And you will have the time of your spiritual practice and the time of other activities. And this will reflect clearly what are your real, how do you say this? Priorities. And for those who are really seeking freedom, this is very good information for you to know how you are dividing your time. And that apart from what you were giving as an excuse, it is just about what is really real for you. And by knowing what is right, you can make a change into this. But meditation, for example, it is almost the last resort, the last thing, because unless you make a walking meditation, that one, it's not that problematic. But if you're sitting still, by increasing meditation, you will have to decrease the rest. And by knowing that you need to increase more and more, it will mean, even if indirectly, to decrease more and more other things. And this is how the fire grows, because you are getting it back. So the fire of desire, it is there, but scattered amongst all your priorities, or the real priorities. And according to the time you give to different things, there you will see your real priorities. So this is why the majority is now saying everybody has become Advaitins. I don't know if that word exists. And there's nothing to be done spiritually. But worldly, investing. And these spiritual philosophies that allow to continue this, they are embraced because that is the priority. So as you intensify spiritual practice, you will have to let go of certain things. Certain things have to compromise. And by cutting certain things, fire gets recovered. But there is a decision here. Which one is more important? And it will be like this. From the instinct part, from the mental part, the one with the lower part, of course, everything will want to maintain that, because the real belief is that. But if you know mentally, if you trust the sages, the wisdom, if you don't have guidance, of course, then you know that you will have to cut it. And by doing it, then fire increases. So the fire is there, the intensity is it's all there, but it is scattered amongst all the images of happiness that haunt you, that you go after, because everybody is moving towards somewhere and they are following the carrot which is laid in front of their eyes. The carrot remains at the same distance. And nobody questions where this carrot comes from. What is its purpose? But it is like this. So the desire, the fire is there. You just have to bring it back, to take it, remove it from other places. And as you do this, then this desire for liberation also increases. If there is a need for this, and it must be, because the question is there, because there are those that already come with this strong fire. They don't have any more, not so many more delusions about life, that life can bring that greatness that they are looking for, that completeness. For those who still have these delusions, and if the investment is there, the delusion is there, no matter how much philosophy you have read and the sort of philosophy you talk about and you say you believe in. Doesn't matter. Investment is there. Then that is your real belief. By wisdom, you can uproot these investments. You will suffer, of course, because from the instinctive part, from all these sides, pain will be there, because you're opening your hands from an image of happiness. But it is like this that fire will increase. Because if you're waiting for the fire to increase, there are cases that it does happen, but the fire is not invited. It's not like, how do I increase? I increase the fire, then the fire becomes big enough for me to turn my back to all these things. Now, usually when the fire increases without without being like this, it increases in a way that you will have to turn your back to everything without knowing where to go, what to do. Still, you have to move. and pain will be there in the same way, even more drastically, because your mind won't be ready for this. Otherwise, you will have to um, release your fire, which is being used in a delusional way. And if wisdom is there, if wisdom is available, you will know that these investments, okay, so you're doing this um, for security, okay, but does a seeker of truth moves for security purposes or moves in faith? How is it? Does the seeker of truth takes care of his life, or does he know and lives by the belief that God, the divine truth, is taking care? How is it? Hmm? And I could continue on and on, but no need. Get the point. So where is this fire being wasted? And from there, you can recover it. But you will have to put your things and your hands in places that hurt, and remove this and live this process. So then you can establish more and more and more and more in the desire for liberation. And if you look around, it is every undertaking is for liberation, for freedom, for returning home, for God. Whatever expression you are using is just about the circumstances present on that specific individual characteristics. But it means the same. So everything is about that quest, but they are undertakings that can take you closer and closer from liberation, and there are those that keep you more and more away from liberation. Just this, and the world is a big giant school where everybody is learning the value of these investments. And life keeps telling you, I don't have what you're looking for. And that doesn't mean that experiences will be dreadful and will end up being very miserable so that you can understand. No, the best experiences, they are good, fine, but then, so this is not what I was looking for, because this was about all, not something that comes and then disappears. And even the characteristics of this, they are completely different of what you're looking for. So this idea to increase the best experience of human life and glue it together so all the time gets filled with this is naive yet. So experiences will be there, keep saying the same thing. I don't have what you're looking for. If they turn out to be very bad, or they turn out to be very good, they will continue to be disappointing and not satisfying. And this is your answer. I don't have what you're looking for. So people are investing, moving around, and they are learning with this in one way or another. It is like this. But there's nothing else going on here, but apart from the quest for freedom. People are looking for money, possessions, power. This is about happiness, ideas of happiness, images of happiness, images of completeness, of complete satisfaction in different levels of perception. Nothing else is going on. So the question lies, does this investment, can it bring me closer to what I'm looking for or not? But the fire is there, or regroup it and it will intensify. If it is scattered, it will continue small flames. It is still a big fire, but it's divided in small flames that aim the same, but the majority has no way of um, of success, and the other one, which could, in the case of the seeker, who is also seeking the divine for the same purpose. So this flame could succeed it, but it's too small. It's too small. So the other ones have to come here, so they need to be let go so that this can grow. It is like this. So if you're waiting for a more intense fire as a means to let go what needs to let go, then, well, maybe that will not happen that way. How does one deal with sexual desire? Is the goal to eliminate this desire? It's just a desire like all other desires, and it is about happiness also. It is a big source of pleasure. Unlike a lot of sources of pleasure, if you indulge too much, it becomes a source of pain. As you are deluded, everything functions the same because it doesn't have what you're looking for. This specific one has it is the drive of life. So this is a very intense one. So it is important to conserve. It's not about sexual desire. It's about the desire for freedom and for liberation. So the sexual desire is just the same desire as other desires, but it's a very strong one at many levels and for many reasons. So this energy, eventually, you will need to preserve it, but it's not about the sexual desire or the sex or whatever. It is about liberation, harnessing this fire for the purpose of liberation and for a lot of other things. It's about purification, not purification from the sex and all of these things. Not about that. But as you mingle with others, you're getting the garbage which is in the other one and throwing your own. And what you throw away is not such a big important for you, not directly, but what you receive, it is by far more important. And you establish a lot of connections that eventually doesn't allow you to move. So there will come a time you may, by your idea to getting choose certain circumstances like a monastic life and make vows about this and all that. But eventually it's not about that. It's about conserving, bringing back all these fires to the ultimate fire. Because the majority, if you test this, it's okay. So now I will not waste my sexual energy. Okay, I will conserve it. And you will see that this will reach a level of intensity that if purity is not there, if it hasn't increased, your body will make everything it can to just send that away, to put it out, so that energy can become lower, or else anxiety will be there and all these things. So this desire, other desires, is to bring it to the same flame. To the same flame. And because this is a big flame, for the majority, not everybody, the flame is there, but different levels are there. So this becomes important. But again, it's not important because of sexual desire, but because the desire for liberation. And choices has to be made. Choices have to be made. And but so then I will stay my life, all my life, without this, or without that, or without that. So this is the, but are you looking forward or looking backward? Are you looking for what you're missing, what you're going to lose? Or is your eyes where the goal is liberation? And is this about the rest of your life? Why? Do you plan on staying the rest of your life blind? Well, if you continue to invest like this mildly on liberation, then surely you'll become the rest of your time blind. But if you continue to try the rest of your life, well, at least you will get a little bit closer. Even if it is just one step in a 50,000 miles journey, well, it is one step less. But okay, so but if this is very low promising, so I'll just keep the rest. Well, good luck with that one, because it is your bet, and then you're the one who is going to have to live with it. It is like this. So, sexual desire. The goal is to eliminate desires. No, no elimination here, just clarification. Clarification. Behind every desire, there is the desire for supreme happiness, and that means liberation. But what happens is your experience of happiness is connected to circumstances. So, supreme happiness has to be the perfect circumstances. And this is a picture that everybody is trying to assemble, almost everybody. So it is about clarification of desires. If this is for the purpose of liberation, can I get liberation through this? Is this something which is helping, or is this something which is disturbing? And even for those, because sexual desire is used for in many ways. You have sex, which is used just as a means of getting some pleasure. There is the sex which is about making love in a loving relationship. There are many things. There is even sex to inflict pain to others, or whatever. There's a lot of things. One word doesn't sum it all. But even those who are in a relationship, a loving relationship, and the sex, which is in a loving relationship, protected by that love, purified by that love, even for those, it will have to stop eventually. And I don't mean that I have to stop all the time, but eventually there will be a period, a moment that it will have to stop, decrease or stop. But what does this define? All these questions come because you are blind and you are lost. And what does this mean? There is no guidance there. So you are lost. You are overtaken by your blindness, by the delusion you are. So this is why these questions come, because if you intensify your practices, dedicate yourself completely, your process will become alive, then guidance will come. According to the need of your specific illusion, is it inner guidance or outer guidance in the figure of a master? It is according to your process. But it has to become alive first, and then guidance has to come. You will be tested, and if you pass these tests, then it's not about should I do this or should I do that. It's about do this and do that. It's like this according to every specific need. When you don't have this and you are asking questions about how should I do this, which one is better, and you're lost and it doesn't really make a difference. And usually people just choose according to what they really need to protect and to maintain, and whatever they can fit in there without menacing the rest. But this is nothing. So It has to start somewhere. And this, for the majority, is the calling there. If it is there, start your meditation. One technique is enough. Practice it intensely. If the desire for liberation is there, with intense practice, things will start happening. Then you will be put in front of decisions that you will have to make, not pleasant, not easy ones. And if you succeed, this fire will increase more and more and more and more. Then it will be possible for guidance to be there. Sometimes guidance appears even before you are ready for this, before the fire is there. And then, if you are wise enough, you may trust this. You may trust this and it will help you. But the majority will not be able to clearly identify it, even if it is set. Sometimes people come and ask me different kinds of questions. And I have to ask back, would you really believe my answer? Because doing the questions, but then if you're going to evaluate the answer, you're not ready to believe it, so it will not serve you for anything. If it fits your world, you will accept it. If it doesn't, you won't. But this won't change anything for you. Absolutely anything. Okay, so now I will answer your question. So, dear Sriman, what is your guru lineage? For several generations, who is your teacher? It has been said that association with false teacher will put you into 12,000 years of recycle hell. Is that true? How can one... Who knows? Who knows? But there's only one way to associate with a false teacher. You know what that is? Is to have false motivations, to be a false seeker of truth. Because if you are a false seeker of truth, even if you associate with a false teacher, you will grow in that association. But if you're not a false seeker of truth, you can associate, you will be called to the teacher which is not false. But if you're a false seeker of truth, if you come close to a real teacher, you cannot endure it. Maybe through a period of time, but not too much, because, well, the precious things will be taken away one by one, and as they come closer to that, which is really precious, then the other questions, if I would answer this, you wouldn't understand. And what can I tell you? If you want to know something about me, if you want to have something tangible, well, let me just tell you, that voice of your consciousness, which is telling you that, well, we are very close, very close. But the rest, I don't talk about myself, not in the sense that this question comes as an individual, not the purpose. Okay, someone is calling here. Refuse. This cell phone is just for this satsang live, nothing else. Don't worry about me, I am not important. The important thing is your process, intensifying your spiritual practices. In that fire, you will find what you need. Before that fire, hmm, and these lives, they are not really about guidance. Sometimes they may appear to be, but it is not. It's about clarifying doubts, um, giving a chance so that you can start a real process. And then when it starts really, then everything comes from there. The who's, the what's. And then it's not about evaluating and analyzing, it's about following what guidance is pointing. And these questions, all these things, they are you looking for some kind of insurance about, because what the things that you're putting in front with are very difficult, so you must have some insurance so that you can trust or do something. So this is nothing yet, nothing yet. So this idea that first, Viviane, what is important in this cosmic moment? Can you define this cosmic moment that you're talking about? That will help for me to answer your question. But in every cosmic moment, it is freedom and liberation. And circumstances that are there are helping this always. And they are changing, and each different one offers the same opportunity. So if you can elaborate a little bit more of this, what do you mean about this cosmic moment, that will help. So a moment that it is here also present is this situation that it is putting everybody in retreat. And if there is a need, if you start increasing your practices and more doubts, more questions starts coming, we can increase these live satsangs even to a daily basis, because only if questions are there that it makes sense, or else there's what to say. I know that you are used to these satsangs where it comes and la 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 la, you ponder about it, but well. Maybe about new learn to humanity. Well, my dear, yes, you're not English, so this is not your language also. Welcome to the group. Maybe about something new to learn to humanity, is that what you're trying to say? There's nothing new to learn, it's just the same. But we can say that for observing moments of these cosmic moments. They're not so cosmic, they are just concerned here a little bit. That humanity has passed through a lot of moments of big distractions, and this is one of it. This is one of it. But it may take time, but it always comes. The bets that you are doing individually, what you are investing in individually, you will have the fruits of this eventually. It may take 1 life, 10 lives, 5 minutes. It will come from the smaller fruits to the big fruits. And collectively, it is also the same. So you see, as the day and night is there, so there are periods of darkness, and They will end eventually, but as they are there, it seems that they take a long time. And there are periods of sunshine. And as it is there, it seems that it will always be there also. So when things are good and moving and and thriving, striving, hmm, uh, it seems it will always be like this. Everything's fine. Nothing's going to happen in worldly sense. But eventually night will come, and when night comes, also the same. It seems that it will last forever, but it will always also ends, and in these different circumstances, opportunities are there, always. Okay, so if you have more specific questions about your humanity, about yourself, because this is my focus here, it's about this seeker of truth. So then you can send, I will be happy to answer you. If not, well, we will end this today, and tomorrow we'll be back at in the same time. So words are very nice, sometimes they're not, but what matters is what you're doing. So increase your practices if the calling is there, increase it as you can, make it real for you, make your process alive, give it life. Other thing? Okay, there's something else here. Let's wait a little bit. So if you use WhatsApp, it's easier because it comes directly to me, or else it goes somewhere that has to be put somewhere else so they can send it here. From Pascual Franco, how do you deal with the body point of view that is always present? What do you mean about this? It's about uh, taking care of the body's security and all of this. Well, it's maybe it's so good. You could improve this question, that would help a lot. But it's about survival of the body. What is giving life to the body? What is the purpose of the body? It's just there to survive, to move from what, because a body, a corpse is lifeless. Without the life there, does nothing, just stays there, decomposes. So what gives it purpose, meaning? Is there the divine in the equation? If the divine is there, it takes care of it. And you see, bodies survive in different ways. Not everybody, not every way suits everybody because the story is different. But if you look around, you will see all these different seekers of truth and living in very different circumstances. Some don't even eat, others eat some raw roots a little bit and just walk around naked somewhere where they are not seen. Others live different ways. What does this mean? So eventually, uh, So eventually, everybody has a story, and surrender has to be there to guidance. Uh, the practices, the intentions have to be directed in a way that you become worthy of the divine presence there, of the divine fire, of the divine calling. And these things, these worries have to be surrendered to the divine. This is the path. If you're taking care of your life, it means there's no room for guidance or for the divine to guide your life. If you're too busy taking care, you will not see the invisible hand which is taking care. You will not be able to see the magic. So the focus of the seeker of truth is first becoming that sacred fire, to be, how do you say this, worthy of that divine presence, of that divine guidance, and surrendering to that will. And that will take care, not the way you think it should take care, but the way that it is needed. And this will break all paradigms, all concepts about what is needed, what isn't. And this is the divine path. It is like this. If you're guiding your life, there's no room for guidance. Guidance is not something that gives you advices. It tells you what to do. It is different. Because if you're getting an advice, it doesn't matter how good is the advice. And it doesn't matter if you take it or if you reject it. Your world is just adapting. And guidance comes to break your world. And the path of the seeker of truth is not a path of safety. It is not. It's not a path of safety. Okay. Nothing else there? Okay, so tomorrow we'll be back. We'll reflect on these words, putting them into practice if you think it is the best for you. And tomorrow we'll be back. Watch.